I got a box.
Illustrations by me.
So the good people at Arrtx, it's Arrtx, they got in touch with me and they're like, hey, do you want to try our acrylic markers? Sure, absolutely. I wanted to do something with acrylic markers anyway, which I have some. But these intrigue me because they're supposed to be a brush tip, and that's something I don't have. I don't have acrylic markers with a brush tip. I have them with that hard kind of felt tip that just scratches the paper if you put it down on paper, or it's rough and can get destroyed pretty easily. This is supposed to be a soft brush tip. I'm excited to try them. Now, if you go down below, you should see something down there that's a discount for you. If you don't see a discount coupon down below, that's not because I didn't ask for it. I was supposed to get one. So make sure it's down there if you're interested in these markers. There's 60 of them, and they're very affordable. I don't remember what they are from them directly, but I know that I think on Amazon I saw them for like $45 or something like that. For 60 marker, that's not bad for acrylic paint. Now, there's no kind of... yeah, they sound kind of loose in there. But anyway, there's no kind of light fastness or anything like that great on them. I have no idea what they are. It just has... There's not even color names. There's just numbers. So we'll see. I'm going to swatch these out and... What? They sent me the stickers to label the markers myself. There's no markings on here. I don't know what color this is. I don't know what number it is. It's not on the cardboard. They just gave me a sticker. I have to guess which blue is this one. And I'm going to put it... Don't ever rely on me. I'm a moron. I'm going to label these wrong. I don't understand. Put the stickers on the markers, please. Oh, this is not a good idea. And it looks like there's two stickers. There's two different kinds of stickers for each marker. I don't know where they go. I'm assuming the round one will go on the bottom here, because I don't think it'll fit on the top. I don't know. Oh, this is not good. I'm probably going to screw this up. I'm going to definitely not put one of the colors where it's supposed to go. I'm going to take a guess and say that the order that they're in here is how they are on here. I don't think that's right, though. I'm probably going to screw this up. But what I will do, instead of putting another one of these on the marker itself, I may actually stick this on the swatch sheet. And when I do the swatch sheet, I'll just make sure that the number I put on here matches the number I see on the swatch sheet. That way I can say, okay, at least I know that those colors match here. I don't know if they actually are the right colors. I have no idea. The other thing, I don't know if you can buy these individually. That's one thing that really bothers me about art companies. I understand, maybe open stock, there's no like stores that want to carry your open stock, but then you make it available. I should be able to say I want a F66 because I ran out of the F66 and I like it and I want to use it again. Can you please sell me an F66? And I should be able to buy it open stock. I don't want to have to buy another set of 60 for one marker that ran out. That's a terrible thing. I hate that about most of these kinds of sets. But I don't know. Maybe they do sell them on their site. I have to check it out. I'll let you know sometime during the video. And why? Because I have done absolutely no research so far. I got the box. I was all giddy. I opened it up. And now I see that they're putting me to work. I might have to send them a bill for my labor for putting this stuff, labeling my own pens. I think I might have to do that. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so start out. This is the set. It comes in a nice box. You open it up. You can, I don't know how in focus this is, but anyway, these all come in these. This is like a container. There's hard plastic in here that holds it up. So it is a little loose, but it's not going to fall out. It's pretty sturdy in there. It goes in, the whole tip goes in, so it's not moving anywhere. I already know that I messed these up. I have no idea. Some of these are, I had to pull some off and put them back on because I was putting the wrong ones on. I think that's a terrible idea. I don't have the super glue and I don't have the skill to put this stuff on here like this, so I think these should come labeled. That's definitely number one. they should come labeled. Now I did this terribly. I don't understand some of this. I'm gonna have to go on the website and really look at this, because some things don't make sense to me. Like, why is this an O2 but this is a CO2? I don't understand that. And then this will be like C14, C17, 17. There's a difference here. This is a series of some sort. I'm not understanding. Down here are J's. Over here are F's. I really have no idea. I put the F's down the side here. I have no idea what's going on here. Well, it seems I'm a very good professional here. I'm going to put these dark marks here just to see how well that they cover. The normal colors are the regular ones, and then the C's, I think, are also normal for some reason. But the F are the neon colors, and the J's are the metallic colors. So at least I figured that was like 5 seconds of actually going on their website and looking up their stuff. I'm a professional. I don't need to do that. But that's, if you were to look at that, that's what you do. So anyway, they are, it says they're highly pigmented, that they're water resistant. I'm sure they are. If they're acrylic paint, they're water resistant. It says that they have great permanence. So I don't know what that means. Sometimes great permanence, like a Sharpie is permanent marker, meaning that it won't come off, but it also is not light fast. So I don't know if this means that it'll go down and not come off, or if it will go down and last in the sun if you were to do something. A lot of people like take these and color rocks and things, and I do have to say, one of the things that I really like about them is that it's a brush pen. You don't have to shake it, you don't have to push down on the tip, you just open it up and use it. You keep it face down, I guess, so that the paint is always flowing to the tip. But these are paint pens. These are not regular markers. They're paint pens. They're acrylic paint pens. So we're gonna see how they do here. We're gonna start with. See, that's not. That's my fault. That ink is not all the way dry. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna come back here and start painting over these. Okay, so before I actually start this, I just want to mention an artist. It's called, the channel is Lauren's Latest Project. I know I kind of smashed on that Plen April thing, but she just went through the whole Plen April, and she did a ton of stuff, a ton of work, and some of it is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put a link to her channel down below, but it's Lauren's Latest Project. Look her up, give her a view. She only has a couple hundred subscribers, but I'm telling you, we got to get some more eyes on her. She's absolutely wonderful artist. And the piece that really drew my attention was there was some light in the background. It was backlit in trees, and the light kind of, it wasn't just black trees because the light was behind it. She actually had some color on them, and the light kind of wrapped around the tree. It'd be absolutely beautiful. So go check her out, and we'll get on with this now. So I let this dry a little bit. I hope I let it dry enough. Some of the colors are, I did not let it dry enough. Some of that black's going to come up. Don't worry about that. That's not really a big deal. I just want to take some of these. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on, I'm just going to put one streak across that way it see if it covers in one swipe. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on these colors. I hope I'm grabbing the right colors. I have no idea. Some of these colors are absolutely brilliant, and some other ones are not as brilliant. So there's a yellow I would actually use. That's wonderful. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through these pretty quickly, not spend a whole lot of time on them, and just get the colors down. So just so you can see, and so I can refer to them in the piece. Some of them seem very, or at least not very opaque compared to others, just more opaque compared to others. And that is a stiff black line, so with a very thick amount of ink in there. So just take that for what it's worth. Some of these cover seem like in one shot, some of them do not. Some of the ink is coming up a little bit too because maybe I didn't let it dry long enough. But all in all, these are beautiful paints, and you see how easy the paint's coming down. Is anything dry? It's not, definitely. It's going down there really thick. So that's definitely another plus for these pens. I really like that you don't have to shake them and you don't have to tap on the front of them. That's something that I like. And I'm probably going to take one of these pink colors and crack it open. You know what? I'm just going to crack it open right now. Okay, so this is definitely a color I'm never going to use. I'm just curious as to what's inside, what's behind the curtain. I don't know if I have to just twist this or... There we go. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, come on now. There we go. So yeah, it looks like a foam insert. You can't see in there probably, but it looks like just like a foam insert in there. I don't think it's anything too crazy. We're gonna see if it. I don't know if you can replace nibs on these, if they're replaceable, if they're disposable. I guess I'll find out. You know what? Let me take a little piece of paper towel and cover my pliers so I don't get the paint everywhere in case I squeeze it and paint starts dripping out. Here, you gotta grab the actual thing. Okay, there you go. So, oh, there you go. Okay, the whole thing just shot out there. So, here's the paint. It is in a tube, and it looks like a foam tube. So you squeeze it. There's a little bit of, you can tell it's kind of liquidy, and it doesn't really come out. It doesn't really spray out much. I can put this back in here. It's a regular nib like you would see, almost like what you would expect. I don't want that to get everywhere, but almost like what you would expect from, I don't know, like a regular marker, but it's soft. It's not a hard tip pen. It's definitely soft. You just slip that back in there, and I probably ruined this, and that's fine. I was not expecting not to ruin it, so I don't mind that I did. But for now, I'm going to leave it in the set, and I'll see if it still works in a while. I might have just destroyed this one, but I'm not going to use this color anyway, so I'm okay with that. You know, I used to get yelled at when I was a kid. I used to take any toys that I got, and well, what is that now? Well, there's something on that one. Looks like it was just a piece of cardboard or something. So anyway, I used to take my toys when I first got them, and I'd usually take at least one of them and just break it apart into nothing. But anyway, let me see if I can move this over here so I'm not reaching across the camera like a professional. But I used to take apart my toys, and I used to get in trouble for that. But I wanted to see what was inside. How come that arm didn't fall off? What's on the other side? What does the joint look like? What does the, you know, what's under the head? I got to see what's under the head. So anyway, I'd break all my toys, at least one toy of that type. I didn't do it to all of them. I just wanted to look and see what was inside there. Anyway, these are, they're very bright. They're very vibrant. I don't know what else I'm gonna say about that. They're definitely look like nice paint markers, and I can't wait to use them in something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do something on a board. I wanted to do something that was not on paper, because these, although they're working great, you know, one of the things that I hate about regular paint markers is that hard tip, and I've mentioned that before, but that hard tip scrapes the paper and you can't use it. This is going on effortlessly. I do want to say that I really do appreciate how easy this is, and I wish more companies would come up with these soft brush tip markers. That's what I would really enjoy. If they would do that, I'd use them more because I really like them. I just don't. I usually, you know, you have to. Boards are expensive, so using a board every time, you're going to spend a little bit more money. It's nicer just to be able to do something in a book, which you do with acrylic paints anyway. So why can't you do them with your acrylic markers? And I will show you one that, although I like, it will scratch the crap out of the paper, and I can't really use it on paper. So I don't like that. Anyway, this is going wonderfully. I have to make sure I put these in the right, grab the right ones, because they are a little, they're a little loosened. Let me show you. So see how they kind of like go back and forth? So sometimes they do this, and I go to grab this one instead of this one, because they're just in front, but that's really in two separate rows. So I don't want to do that, and now I've lost my place and I can't see. Okay, I know where I am now. But some of these colors are actually very unique. Not colors that I would normally see in a paint set. I'm not sure how many different paint sets they have. They have a lot. I mean, I don't know how many there are, but there was a lot. This is a set of 60, but this isn't even all of them, obviously. I mean, if you look through the numberings, 21 and 24, so you know there's some missing in between there. At least I would assume so. Oh boy, that's a hideous color. Anyway, so then you know that there's going to be colors that I can't stand. I'm not big into the mint greens and all that kind of stuff like that. But all in all, I like how they come through. I like how they come out. I think it's a wonderful pen to use. From what I'm seeing here, I want to blend some of these too when I go through and I actually do the drawing. I'm going to try and blend some of them and see if I can get them to do different things. This is on a cellulose paper, so I want to say you could almost use this as you would and I think we should do that. But anyway, like a gouache, like you can use them as a gouache. And a lot of acrylic people say, oh yeah, acrylic gouache. No, I mean like a gouache where you could have like gouache pens. That would be wonderful. I wish someone would make a gouache pen. I don't know if you can actually do. You can make a watercolor pen. Why can't you make a gouache pen? I think that would be a great idea. It would be just like this. These would be the perfect consistency and the perfect selection, how easy they come through. I would use these tips on if I was going to make a pen like that. And something else. Okay, so I've got to give this to them. Most of these colors are represented by the color. Look at how close that color is. Look at how close that color is. This never happens. Usually you get the propaganda sheets that show you a list of colors. Oh, well, maybe let's see here. Let's see if the back of this here. Let me see what 20. Yeah, okay. So the 26 here looks nothing like the 26 here. And the 25 here. Okay, so the back of the box, don't look at that. But when you look at these stickers, they're pretty close. It's a little bit different, some of these here. But most of these are relatively close to the color that's actually on the sticker. That's very rare. Usually it's very different. It annoys the crap out of me. But these, they did a good job with that. They matched them up pretty good. That is definitely a silver. And they included a black. Thank you for including a black and a white, because I use a lot of black and white when I use acrylic paint. And we're getting into the metallics now. Very pretty colors. Very pretty colors. Most of these are very usable colors. I think that, oh, look at that. That's a really nice color. I like that color, that greenish metallic green. I'm going to have to compare that here for a second. Hold on one second. All right, there are two colors I want to compare it to. This is a Posca pen. I like that color better. I like the Arrtx pens better for that. And this is a blue, and that is really close. But see, I'm doing this, and it's scratching that paper, and that's one thing I really don't like about having these paint pens on paper. But the brush pens don't scratch. That's really close. This is a little bit deeper. The Arrtx pen is a little bit deeper, and I think I like it a little bit more. Just for the color. I'm saying I like the color a little bit more, and I do like that I can put this down on here and not. Okay, this is a neon. Oh, it's a bubble in there. That's a bubble. Okay. A little concentrated, but that's okay. There's like highlighter yellow. There's like highlighters, the neon colors. That's what they are. Oh, yep. Got some paint on my desk that kind of bubbled off. That almost looks like it's a separating color or something. Maybe just at first, I don't know. The color separated a little bit. I'll wipe this off my desk. And it came right off. Not a big deal. Okay. So these neon colors and some of the metallic ones were kind of bubbling out a little bit when I first pulled them up, but not terrible. And our last one does not have a black line, and we're okay with that. So, very pretty color there. Does not look like that, but maybe if it dries, it gets a little bit darker. Let's see. So, this is the color palette I have to work with. I'm going to pick some colors and use some colors, and I'm going to not use other colors. I'm going to try and separate these in the box based on what I would use. That way they're always in the same spot. And I'll put all the other colors to the side, and let's see what I come up with. But some of these are absolutely beautiful colors. Some of them are there's a little bit of redundancy, I think. Not 100% redundancy, but some of them, like these two pinks, are pretty close to each other. I guess these two oranges are a little different. One's a little stronger, but one just looks like it's a faded version of the other one, especially if you have that color. Like this color and this color is very similar. These two purples look almost identical to me. I think there's a slight difference in them, but I can't really tell. These two blues, same thing. They look just about identical. I'm sure there's different pigments in there or something like that, but some of them are redundant. I wouldn't use redundant colors in there. So okay, so I'm sure these are a little fuzzy, but I went ahead and separated these out. These are the ones I'm going to use. These are the ones I'm not going to use. So I have 30 of each. 30 I'm going to use, 30 I'm not going to use. And that's just, when I went through all the colors, that's just how I see it. I may use something else that I said I wouldn't use in a different situation, but for the most part, I think I'm going to stick with this. Now, one thing I did notice before I started this, I just wanted to show you. So this does have a primer on it. It's sealed. But I love the pattern that's in here. And I want to turn that into something abstract. So I'm going to do probably something a little bit close resembling that and see how it comes out. Alright, wish me luck. Alright, so as you watch this video unfold, I'm going to go ahead and read off the positives and the negatives for these markers. So, and there are plenty. So, the one thing I wanted you to notice was as I pulled the thing apart, there was a dual tip. It's not like one side was flat and the other side was pointed. They were both pointed. So I'm guessing that if something ever happens to the tip, you can just flip it around and put the other side in and use the other side of the tip now. So I'm guessing, don't quote me on that. I think it works that way. As far as I'm concerned, I pulled it apart, I put it back together, it still worked. So I'm fine with that. Also, most of the colors are bright and vibrant. They're not, it's not like, oh, this is terrible and it doesn't really cover. Most of them, and this goes into the next one, most of them were very opaque. They could use a second coat, like the black. When I had to do the black, I had to put a second coat on the black, which is strange. I would assume the black would be have a lot of covering power, but it didn't. The other colors really did. They were very opaque, except for that one purple that kind of, I probably should have put a second coat on the purple. You'll see it. It's towards the top left later on in the drawing here, and it definitely should have gotten a second coat, but I didn't do that. I just left it the way it was. I've mentioned this before, but I absolutely love the brush tip. It makes it so easy to apply. It doesn't scratch. It means that I'll use it more, and you'll see me, I'll use one of the other markers that was from Posca, and it has a fine tip on it, not the extra fine, just a fine felt tip. And as I go to draw, it like spits the paint everywhere because it keeps getting caught on the surface that I'm drawing on. But these didn't. They were very flexible. They were very smooth. It went on like butter. I really believe that this is probably the best brush tip pen that, as far as felt tip, brush tip pens. I wouldn't compare it to a real brush tip because that would be different, completely different. But this was like a very, very soft sponge. That's what it reminded me of. And it laid everything down very smooth. I could get very sharp lines with it. That part was great. Now, I know it's a small thing, but they also included the removable holders. So they make them easy. If you're someone who doesn't want to keep them in the box and you want to put your supplies out on your desk and display them, and I understand that a lot of artists like to do that. These trays that these came in, you can just take them out of the box, and there's two separate trays with 30 each. They hold 30 each. You can arrange them side by side or long ways or however you need to for the space that you have. And that's actually a benefit. I really enjoy that. A lot of markers, either they have to stay in the box or you have to get a separate holder and you have to buy something else to put them in. These you didn't. They worked. They had their own holder. So that's a wonderful thing. Now I would recommend using their holder because I believe you have to leave them upright where the point is face down. I think you have to leave them like that because of the felt inside that cartridge inside has to lean up against the nib in order to have it soak the paint through. I think if you flip it the other side and the felt tip thing, the felt inside kind of falls down to the bottom, now it's out of contact with the tip and it's probably could dry out. I don't know, but in my mind it could dry out and maybe it would not work as well. So I would leave them tipped down just like they come in the box and leave them that way. You know, a lot of other markers you have to put laying down. You don't want to put them heavy on the tip because they'll leak everywhere. But since these don't seep through because it's not one of those tips that you push on to get the paint to come through, it's just a soft tip. So I think that's fine. You just leave it face down, everything will be great. Now another thing, they have plenty of flow, so they didn't dry out as I was using it. Sometimes you get markers that you use, and as you're using them for a whole painting, they'll dry up on you. They won't go as fast as you're trying to draw. They'll kind of skip and dry out. These were soaked with paint. That part was great. I didn't have any trouble getting paint out of these. Now another plus is that the paint dries quickly, so you'll notice a lot of the times, there was an exception, but most of the time I'm putting paint down right next to other paint that I just put down, and it's touching it, and that paint on that edge is already dry, so when I touch it, it doesn't smear. There was an instance where I had one of the paints smear as I touched it to the other one because it wasn't dry yet, but for the most part, these paints dry extremely fast. Now, I had this on a board. The board had gesso on it. So it was a clear gesso that I put on beforehand. And so they was sealed. It was not like it was just the raw board that was kind of soaking in the paint. I did seal it first, so make sure you do that. You should do that anyway. Anytime you paint on board, you should seal it first with something. That way the paint doesn't just absorb into the board, but it sits on top. But anyway, it did dry very quickly. And the other thing I can say is most of the colors of paint matched the sticker color. And I thought that was great. Some of them were a little off. But for the most part, that's a very rare thing. Usually, they're completely different colors from what they tell you they are. But these, the sticker, kind of matches the color that you see when the paint comes out. So that's great. It's a little bit accurate that way. So if you don't you don't remember the number, and of course these don't have color names, so you're looking at based on the sticker number. But it will look very similar to what that sticker is. At least you know that, and you can be confident that that's what's going to happen. Okay, now we're getting to the negatives. Number one, it's the first thing I mentioned. I had to put on my own stickers. I've never bought a set of markers or paints that had some assembly required. This was the strangest experience. I know I've messed up some of these. I had to have. There's no way I didn't. I had to pull up some of the stickers before when I first put them down because they were kind of crooked, or I put them on the wrong one because they were twisted, and I had to take them off, put them on something else. There are no name references even on the marker itself that I knew that I was putting the right number on it. So it just, I'm sorry, this one blew my mind. I'm still baffled by it. I would, if the company is listening, and I'm sending this video to them, so they'll see this video and they'll see that they should never send me another product again. No, what they'll see is I'm just trying to be honest. And I don't have to poll the audience. I already know everybody is asking, please put the stickers on the markers for us so we don't screw it up. If you leave it up to us, we're going to screw up these colors, I promise. Now these claim permanence, but and I'm not sure, I might have mentioned this earlier in the video, I don't really remember, but do they mean it adheres and it won't come off? And because that's what Sharpie means. They're like, okay, look, you put this on here, it's a permanent marker, and if it gets wet, it won't come off, so it's permanent. Is that what you mean? Or because it's an acrylic paint and the water won't affect it? Or are you talking about light fastness? Because that matters. You know, I want to know if when I put down my color on the page or on the board or whatever I'm doing, is it something that I can sell? If I put it on rocks, can I put them out in the garden and they won't fade? What is it? I don't want it. I definitely don't want to be responsible for selling this to someone and having it fade. I would never do that. So I probably will not sell this piece because I'm not sure what that means. If I knew what it meant, then I'd be more comfortable. But the permanent part, I'm just not sure if it's permanent because it's acrylic paint and it's water resistant and all that stuff, or if it's actually light fast. So I wish there was some more clarity on that. And speaking of clarity, overall, I would like some more info. I want to know what kind of pigments that are in there, or are they dyes, or what are you using in these markers? Is it something that I can go to like a pigment database and see, oh yeah, okay, they are permanent as far as light fastness, and now I don't have to worry about that? Or is I just want some more information, that's all. Just what are you using to create these colors? What am I using here? Is it dye? Is it going to fade in the mail? Or is it just, it's fine and everything will be wonderful? Now also, I brought this up 100 times. I did not see any open stock. That irritates me like nothing else. If I'm using something enough, I'm going to find like a few colors that I gravitate towards that I use all the time. And I will hate running out of those. They'll be my favorite colors in the whole set. And then I'll run out of them and I will have to spring for a whole new set just to get those couple of colors again that I used up. I understand it may not be worth it for some companies. They're selling like a 75-cent marker open stock and the shipping costs like $3. I get it. I understand that. But I have thrown away many unused art supplies because I didn't want them in the first place. And I only had to buy them because I needed them to get the other colors that were in the set with them. So don't throw your art supplies away. Find someone to give them to, but that's not the point here. I'm just saying I would like open stock. I usually only buy things that are open stock. If it's very cheap, like $5 or something, that's one thing. But a set that you have to invest $45, $55 in, whatever it is, you know, you don't want to have to do that every time you run out of one color. You want to be able to just buy the color that you need. Even if you have to spend the $3, that's fine. But you just want to buy that one color. So that's another one. And as I'm recording this, I just got an email that said, hey, by the way, we are going to supply you some links that you can give to people. And before your video goes out, we'll make sure that you have the discount coupons for your viewers so that they can get a discount off of these markers. So that's wonderful news. I don't know if the affiliate links are actual affiliate links, if I'm getting a commission or not. I could be. But the most important part, the biggest thing that I wanted, was the discount for you in case you decided that you wanted to buy this and you wanted to try them out. Because let me tell you something, in spite of all the unknowns, these were very nice to use. They were very nice to work with. And I will be, once in a while, what I like to do is I take some acrylic paint pens and I draw some little pictures on these little tiny rocks. And I go leave them in a random park somewhere where I know like a kid will find them and they'll be like, oh, what's this? There's like a rock with a drawing on it. And they just have fun with it. Like makes their whole day that they found something. So I like doing that. I'll probably do that with these markers. And I encourage you to do something whimsical like that. It's just, you don't have to, you'll never know who actually found it. A dog could have picked it up and threw it in the river, but whatever. All I know is good thing these are non-toxic. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, all I'm saying is it's a fun time. So it's something just that you can enjoy. You figure out, okay, I'm going to do this, just do a couple little rocks. And just wait and see. It just makes your whole day knowing that you could have made someone else's day. And just for a change of pace, if you did enjoy this video, you can thank these people that are popping up on the screen here. And if you didn't enjoy the video, you can just blame me. I'll take all the blame. They can take all the credit. And that's how this life will work this time. So thumb up the video if you're going to go take some paint markers and you're going to go out and find some rocks and you're going to paint little nice pictures on them. Now do me a favor here. Make sure you're painting pictures on them like little puppies or little birds or little landscape scenes or maybe like a Pokemon or something. People love that stuff. But don't go around painting random symbols on rocks and leaving them around in parks. The village elders will think there's like a cult in the neighborhood. People are calling the police. They're trying to find down this person, track down this person that's painting these symbols and putting them everywhere. Don't do that. Just paint little nice pictures and let people find them. Let the kids have a good time and just do it that way, okay? You know what? Let me just show you what I mean. And I'm going to use these markers for the details. If you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.